three different plants.
The tea is three different plants.
One comes from the Artemisia. Artemisia is the main plant where we use to heal malaria.
Oh yes.
And
oh yes, you were telling me about that.
So wormwood is what Artemisia is the English name for Artemisia, and they still make absinthe out of it. So it's a very strong medicinal plant.
I'm gonna pull this
and
back.
there's a little bit of that in here. Then there's wilde dacha in here, which is very close to. It has THC in it. It's very close to tetrahydrocannabinol, like the marijuana.
Oh.
But it's very, 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 very.
So it's a little bit of a sedative, just a little.
It's a sedative, yes. So this is the orange leaves that you see. It grows all over southern Africa. And then there's Sutherlandia in here. Sutherlandia is they use it a lot for mutis, and mutis is the African word for a healing drink.
Muti?
Medicine. Because my herbalists, they said, do not take the medicine that they give you to prevent malaria, because it's Artemisia. It's just a chemical form of Artemisia.
I'm going to join you here.
The way we build the planes is from a bird, right? So we take everything from nature and we change it.
Yes.
So we should always go back a little bit and respect.
And you were telling me, so I just to do it. This is Alexander, and your last name is?
Von Glazov.
That's a beautiful name.
Yeah.
And what part of the world is that from?
My last name is from Ostpreußia, what is the northeast of Germany, what is now Poland.
Oh, okay.
So that's my
heritage. It's a Germanic and Polish name, or is it mostly Polish?
It's mostly German.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So these days it belongs to Poland now, just that part.
That part.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're here in Stuyvesant Town with Alex, and Alex does. Can you explain what you do? And
I do body stress release. So when stress is in your life, everywhere, 24 hours, except for when you sleep, even then you can feel stress. Sometimes you wake up at night, or you get a cramp in your leg and you wake up from that, or you just can't fall asleep, insomnia. These are all signs of stress. Or waking up in the morning and you just feel this tightness in your neck. Or waking up every morning at 6 o'clock and not being able to fall asleep.
I have all of that, Alex.
These are signs of stress, and these are bad signs of stress, but there's very good signs of stress. Stress brings us to different levels. Stress can push us away from the old days, from running away from a lion, or from the danger. That would make it's a survival mode.
A munger in New York City.
Right. New York City, good word, is built on stress. If it's bad stress or good stress, it doesn't matter. New York City is an amazing platform if you like to work with stress, it's the best place. But if there's an overload of stress, that means you wake up in the morning and you have one of these effects. So you will have pain, for example, through stress, and it can lead to a fluctuating of having no pain, and then pain coming back and having no pain, leading into having numbness. So you think it's gone, but it's underlying something else. Parts of your brain, they're filter mechanisms. So when the nerve fires a certain amount over and over and over a long time of stress, of pain to your brain, this part of your brain, this filter, will not allow this to go through, as well as a survival mechanism of our old days, to be running away from a lion. You can't be feeling that pain that you just fell over and tripped. You need to be able to run away. There's adrenaline a part of it, for sure.
That overrides the pain,
yes.
Does it?
Yes.
Adrenaline, but when it wears off, you're going to...
But when it wears off, there's something else, and that's the reticular active system in your brain who filters this. So we think we're all good, but then there's but then we touch our shoulders and we realize everything is very, very tight. So there's a sign of something not being all great. Body stress release is founded in South Africa. It's a 25-year-old healing technique. It's a couple called the Megacies, and they founded this 25 years ago.
Is it based on any other type of practice?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
So they came to America as young students. She was a French teacher, and he was a chemist.
Yes.
And he fell off a tree as a child, and he had really bad backaches. This is a couple from school, so they love each other since they're kids. And at one point they had to do something against this problem. So they gave up their lives in South Africa and they moved to America, and they studied here chiropractic. So they studied it, and they worked very hard to pay the schools and the university. And when they finished, they went for additional courses, and they met Dr. Van Runt, who was giving courses. There's a lady in New York City who's called Isis Medina, who studied under Dr. Van Rumpt. She's very famous.
Van Rumpt?
Van Rumpt, R-U-M-T, M-P-T. And they came back to South Africa and practiced chiropractic non-force the way they learned it. And they would work together.
Oh, yes.
And the one would work on the feet and use the body as a monitor. They would do like a body reading. So they use the feet.
Oh, I remember you talking about that. The feet gives you the initial information, or
yeah. So we look straight down,
Mm-hmm.
vertical down, vertical down onto the feet, and I will, for example, reach over the body and I will push onto the sacrum, what is here between your hip bones. Your sacrum, it's the bottom of your vertebra. It's in the middle of your hips, and I'll push it to the left or either to the right side. And then I'll quickly go down to your feet and I'll move your feet, and then I will see a difference when I've been practicing for 5 months just to learn it with my teachers, under supervision. And I will see very slight difference or even big differences, it depends very much on the person, if there's a reaction or not. And this happens because the longest nerves of your body come from your occiput, from your head, all the way through your spine, and they go into your hips, and then into your legs, into your toes. So they're the longest nerves. If you push a little bit on them, they will give you a sign. So they are all interlinked to all the other parts of your body that are interlined to your brain. So I push over the sacrum, and then I'll see a difference, and then I will go and I will release it through pushing in a certain direction and applying a certain pressure.
So this is based on what you say is, did you say it was non-force chiropractic? Is that the word? Is that the term? Or it's based on chiropractic?
It's wonderful to not compare body stress release with anything, because they have studied chiropractic, and they went so far away from
that's
everything.
where they started,
Right.
and then it evolved from there.
Right.
Okay, that's really interesting.
Right. Somebody once told me when Dr. Van Rumpt started to find these kind of things, he was just doing tests, and the next time the patient came back, the patient was already has already processed what he was planning to do that day on the tests from the days before. So he realized that he didn't have to go and crack and push and do all this hard stuff. He could just do these simple tests with the intention. So he would have the intention, and then he would do his tests, and that he started evolving through that, and that was already enough to get to where he wanted his clients to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so how did you meet this person? Have you always been interested in this field?
I was a downhill skateboarder. I was a champion, Europe champion in a very extreme sport where we go 80 to 100 kilometers.
Can I try that?
Please do so.
Am I ready?
Yeah. Do you want some honey in it?
If you recommend it.
It's a little bit bitter, so I would.
And I'm very interested in the THC
Yeah.
I'm sure that tastes very good.
It's very, very mild. You will not feel it.
I'm not gonna. All right.
Yeah, but your body will.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And you say you created this tea from herbs you found in the African bush.
So in South Africa, I would skateboard and have all my skateboard friends, and these skateboard friends they would work on movie sets and greeneries. So one day they said, you got to meet these people. You really got to meet these people. You're gonna love them. So they bring me into Woodlands, this beautiful. I get all emotional. This beautiful street where these amazing people live in this family with a mom called Nadia and 3 children. And these 4 people are herbalists. They have the oldest son and the mom especially. They grow a lot of herbs in their back garden. They have San Pedro cactuses that flower at night when the moon is shining. They have all sorts of succulents that have these beautiful, like a little succulent about this big that flowers, maybe a flower like this big. That doesn't make any sense. You think, where does this little green thing have energy to make a flower that is 4 times as big?
And you say it blooms, it opens at night?
The San Pedro does.
The San Pedro does.
Some others do as well.
Some do.
Because they're relevant, but the most of them bloom during the day.
Yeah.
And they have introduced me to these 3 herbs, and these 3 herbs.
And they are again, what are they called?
One is called I'll say them in Afrikaans. One is Wilde Alse, Wilde Dacha, and the third one is Artemisia. Yeah. So these 3 are a very good combination to get the whole thing going. So the one will relax you in a very medicinal way. The other one will clean your blood and clean your kidney, what is a very important organ of our body, the blood. And the third one prevents and brings adaptogenics upon. So it lets you adapt. So Artemisia is so clever that it lets your body adapt to the new stresses and changes in your life.
That's great.
So these 3 together, they make a great combination.
Well, I'd love to try it.
Yes.
Here's to your health. Oh, that's great.
Different, huh?
I love it. It's very, wow, there's so many different flavors to it.
It can, huh? Yeah.
Yes. I love that.
I can just sit here and put my nose over it. And then go through memories that I had.
I can't. I don't know what I would. I don't know what I wasn't expecting. I thought, oh, tea, but it's beautiful. I don't even know how to describe it.
So after meeting these people,
It's beautiful.
I went surfing with the boys, and I had a really bad accident in the water. And I couldn't get out of bed. I was living with.
So you were water surfing, not skateboarding.
Yeah. So I left my element, the hard asphalt.
Yes.
And my profession, and I went with these kids that grew up on the beach, ice cold water, where you wear thick neoprene suits and feel like you can't even move yourself, and you have to paddle and get on a board and do like half yoga movements and get on there and surf, read the waves and think of a shark in the water, but you don't have to worry about these days, right? Ever. And I couldn't get out of bed for good. What was it? Maybe 5 to 7 days.
Really?
I couldn't get out of bed.
When was it?
I would get out and I would just have such a cold back, cold frozen back. I couldn't. So the mom Nadia, this was 2000.
And you're just a kid. I mean, you're so young. It's not like, and you're used to doing this, so it's not like an older person could very easily, pull something and be in bed. But for a young person.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I was underwater. My feet, I fell from the back of my head, and I heard my back crack. So it was that bad.
So was it a wave that crashed down on you?
So I fell off the surfboard and I got into the front of the water, and the bottom of the water was backwards, and the top of the water was forwards. So my legs were going forwards, and my body was going backwards. So it was literally I was doing like a wheel backwards.
Yeah.
And that just cracked right through my spine.
Whoa.
And it probably damaged a disc in my back, around the mid lower back to the thoracics.
Yeah.
After 7 days, Nadia said, "This is it. You're going to take the dog who has the same problem like you. You're going to take this dog and you're going to go to Liz Henry. And Liz Henry, she will help you out." So I went to this lady, and what she practices is body stress release. I went to her and she gave me a session. She said, "In 3 days, you can come back." I came back in 3 days, and I was in agony. I was in so much pain. I couldn't really move at all. It was the worst. Those 3 days was the most painful time of my life. And I said, what are you doing? Like, it's not helping. It's not. She said, "This is good. This is interesting. This is a good, very good part." Because when you're having pain, that means that your body is allowing for everything to happen. Your body's allowing for the adaptation to happen, for the healing to happen. When a wound is itchy, it means that it's healing. All of these things. So it's a good part of it. And after 7 days, I came back for my third session, and I was feeling like I was reborn. So after that session, she said, you have a great energy about you, and I would like to introduce you to the Megrises, and maybe you can start school and do what I do. And I was very full off my feet, but then she asked me for my age, and I was 20, and I had to be 25 to do the course.
Really?
Yeah, they're very strict on that. And then...
Did they make an exception?
No.
No?
So I kind of forgot about this, and I never really charged for it until I came to New York, and I was modeling here in New York, doing something completely different. I was making a lot of money working for Timberland.
So you don't model anymore, no? Or
I do on the side,
yes.
because it's a good income.
Sure.
It's very good. And my agents, they call me all the time and say, "Here's a job, here's a job."
Sure.
I'm obviously
Well,
not going to turn it down.
It's great
What it
money.
does do, it gives me freedom, but it gives me a certain energy that I have to find a path that I can connect it to this.
Somebody ever told you look like Paul Newman?
Yeah, I do.
All right, I need to get a close-up of... Oh my God, he really does. Paul Newman! You really do. Okay. Well, you look like that. But you're very handsome. Okay. This man looks like Paul Newman. I hope I didn't embarrass you.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
I'm joking.
It's funny.
No, you did, because I don't know where I am.
What do you mean?
I don't know what I was telling you about.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry I interrupted you because I'm looking at you going, oh my God. See, now I would think, now this might sound funny, but, you know, you're very attractive. So, but you're very, you know, now I'm an older lady, but I would think maybe a younger lady. Now, somebody like Lauren, now she's a very attractive young woman, but she's very, very confident in herself. But I would think maybe some people, now you tell me if would feel like, oh, I feel attracted to him. I think I don't know if I can deal with him touching me. Do you ever have that problem?
I do.
Yeah.
There's many young teenager children in Malawi and in South Africa. They were very shy to come onto my table and me to work with them.
And that it's probably something very new to them too. Maybe.
But down there, it's only that. It's only that thought, and it becomes acute shyness. Where what we do in the Western world is when we feel insecure, we become arrogant. and I mostly get the people to turn me down or to try to prove me. And down there, it's different because I will be in a way of being standing in the dust.
Yes.
Right. Having only a bag of water and living out of my car and cooking on a fire. And
wow.
These are very my simple things so I can survive during the day and night. And people see that because they live the same way.
Yes.
So they can feel for me, and then that's it. That's eaten, done. Then they will feel shy. I will say, "Come,
yes,
please, on the table." Get over it. Done.
Yes.
Here, there are more psychological factors that come to it. More places where you can hide. More places, more reasons you don't have to do something.
Sure.
There, what are you going to say? You're going to go, I have a doctor's appointment?
Right. There's
nothing.
You have to. You're not going to get on the.
It's a straightforward boom.
Right.
Get on my table, done, finished. So that's where it falls out.
So is there right? That's interesting what you're saying, but there's nothing. You're so warm and friendly, so I would think, people would just get over that initial. Oh my God, this guy's.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm sorry.
I'm very sure that when I'm getting to roll in this, and maybe the modeling won't be that of a big part of my life anymore, then I will definitely have a different energy. So with a complete different approach from the first hundreds of a second when you meet me.
But you're so friendly and warm. There's nothing, you could be a douche, but then who would want to go? I want this really attractive douche to massage. No one's gonna. Well, maybe some people would, but you're just a really sweet guy.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't But I would think, maybe that might be an issue for some people initially. But then the second they meet you and start talking, it's like, oh, it's ridiculous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It happens.
Lauren is very similar, I think. Lauren's stunningly beautiful.
Yeah.
But she is so down to earth, and you initially like, oh my God, but then you're like, she's a regular gal.
Right.
You're almost a regular.
Almost, yes. I like to travel a lot, and I hope that's what makes me a little bit of an irregular guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure you are just by nature. I don't think there's anything you have to discover.
So after I've been working with the kids and studying a lot, body stress release, and having Nadia and her eldest son teach me a lot about herbs, African herbs, which are, because it's such an old continent, they've been spread all over the world. And I can work with myself. I've made a lot of tinctures, and I know how to use them to my benefits. I started to become more interested about the other part, the part that is not physical, the part that we talk about chakras and
now what is
spiritual.
That? What is it?
And
chakra. What is that?
We have different bodies. Like we have a physical body, a body that we can touch and feel, and it hurts, and it becomes warm or cold, or it's hungry, or it's full, or it's tired. And then we have another body, and all these bodies, they have other needs. The one body wants to travel into different realms. One body wants to have sex. The other body wants to, you tell me what, wants to be...
and I'm going to say something materialistic, wants money, wants to live in Stuyvesant Town.
Say that's the food stomach, because it wants good food, so it needs money to have good food. So it's the orange chakra, for example.
That's the selfish part,
Yeah, and then, for example, every chakra has a positive and a negative part to it, for example, that it can live out. For example, when it's not blooming, it's not open, it's not shining. For example, your yellow solar plexus, has the center of your body represents the sun, that is the center of our solar system, which is your ego, because it's the center of your almost consciousness.
Yes.
And it's in the middle of your body, and it's important that it gets the right value for what it is. And then we have our heart, what is just above our center, what's so much. So it's a little bit superior of what is in the center. So it actually can control our ego, our heart. And our heart is in the color of green. So sex is red, it's done here. Then there's orange. What is food? If you think of orange, orange is the most like comforting color I know. Then you have yellow, what is such a bright, like the sun, that is a center. Then you have green, right?
Is it like is a chakra like an aura? Or
their bodies. So
their bodies
so
within your body.
So they go out and out and out and out.
Oh,
so you have the physical body, and it's right here.
Okay.
And then you have another body that is here, and you have another body out here.
And those are all your chakras.
And they have
all
colors.
Elements. Oh,
they have,
yeah.
They have colors.
Sounds like an aura,
yeah.
But is it sort of like that? Or it's a different way to say it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel those, and I like to not be taught too much, so I can experience more.
Right.
So all of what I'm telling you is out of my own seeings, what I see.
I think I'm over, Western, very analytical,
Yeah,
trying to, pinpoint it and say, and scientifically explain it. But I love that approach of, no, just
wait
go
until
with
you
it.
see something. Yeah.
I like that.
My art teacher said, see what you see, and fake it till you make it.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. So the green is so your heart chakra is green. And what is green? The forest is green. The nature is green.
Yeah.
And then it goes on blue, light blue, blue, and purple, and silver, and whatever comes. I'm not there yet. I'm still here at green. I'm working here on my green one. I've been working very slowly from the bottom to the top by myself. For myself. And when I work on the people these days, afterwards, after I've done my body stress release, and after I've done all this, because body stress release is a package, is a physical package that comes by itself, that is here for your physical body. What stops the devil spiral of physical body and psychic and mental and emotional and mental fears and feelings to become deeper and deeper, intertwined into each other until a sickness rises. So this is more like the body stops this downward slide and lets the spiritual part and all that self-heal and the body self-heal. So the Megaseas, when they put up their first sign, they wrote body stress release, and they have this beautiful tree where that intertwines with the roots, and on the bottom it says unlocking tension, unlocking stored tension, and restoring the self-healing process. So it's about just that stopping that moment of this getting worse and worse, this inlocked tension, and turning it around so the body can start self-healing itself. So when you come to me for a practice, I will first ask if you had any accidents, if you have ever had any back injuries, if you ever had any operations, and those are my major case history questions. That's what I've specialized in. Those are the only ones that I could actually use in Africa.
What about emotional trauma?
Very interesting. Emotional trauma, we split stress on 3 different... Trauma can be stress. Do you agree?
Oh, it's trauma is always very stressful.
Very related to stress.
Sure.
So we divide stress into 3 parties, in 3 categories. One is chemical stress. Lies around it in your upper part of your body. Can come through drugs, abuse of chemicals. That includes shampoo, that includes insecticides, that includes cleaning materials, Mr. Proper or whatever we use to clean the floor. It can be a bad smell outside on the street that you have to face every day, and at some point your body will just say, I can't do this anymore. Maybe it was to your mental part. So that's the first one, the chemical. There's so many chemicals in this world.
Yeah.
The chemistry is an amazing, interesting part. And then the second one is the physical part. So for example, a typewriter who's sitting like this all the time and getting stiff wrists and big swords stabbing them into their shoulder blades, right?
Yes.
Or hammers or bricks or whatever it is. And the sportsmen or the construction workers who have to, or the person who is sewing or whatever it is, if you're in a position for very long and you have to stay in the position to make money, you won't get out of the position because you know you got to bring money home to feed your kids and your wife or your husband. So that lies in more of your mid-thoracic. They all intertwine. It can be anywhere. It's very, 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 very individual where stress lies. And emotional stress mostly lies in your lower back. So when people say, oh, I have lower back problems, I always go, what are you going through in your life probably right now? I've been taught not to judge, positive or negative, because it always leads to a box, a cupboard, something that you put away and it stays there. Where if it's not there, it's free to change and adapt to whatever it wants to be. If it's a human, a person, a thought, or an idea. So the emotional part is when somebody leaves you in your life, if somebody passes away, if you have fights, if you have financial issues. The biggest one is when you have loss of family, loss of the beloved.
Yes.
That is when the most people get sick and have emotional issues. What is always very deep in the back. So we have a part of our release where we concentrate on that lower back, and it is very it's a pretty strong appliance of pressure, because we have this is where your legs, what is a half part of your body, and your upper body comes together, and it has to hold everything together. When you sit down, you're using it. When you're getting up, you're using it. It's like a pyramid. If you think of a pyramid, or the pyramid of whatever the Eiffel Tower, both sides have the same tension, so it doesn't fall to one or the other side. I should worship my work. So for that I open my lights on the bottom of my feet, and I shine to Mother Earth, to the middle of the center of Earth, with huge beams of love and respect and humility. And as I do that, it goes so quick. It travels faster than light. Mother Earth responds and sends even more abundance of what I just sent her back towards me, through me. And I look up and I send it right to Father Sky, straight through, all the way into the universe. And I thank the South for its humility. I thank the West for its courage. I thank the North for its power, and the East for its wisdom. Okay. Because your sweater has ripples, I have to just lift this one up. Because I've go very gentle over your muscles and over your vertebrae. You have like little wings on your vertebra, and they hold a lot of muscles. So some punch up, and then if I just gently go over them like this, my finger will stop in certain places. And then I know that there's a certain whatever that I'm going to release. Certain amount of stress.
itch. So,
I have no brain.
thank you.
That's actually very normal.
Is it?
Getting an itch on the nose there?
Really? It's not interesting.
Hmm?
It's interesting.
Yeah. It's amazing for me just looking out of this window right now. It's so beautiful. How busy this grows, up and down. Okay, you can turn around to your back.
Oh, thank you. Wow, that was amazing.
Yeah?
Yes, just amazing. I feel like,
Great.
wow, it's really great. It's very, I feel like I went into deeper and deeper place of, it's very meditative, and I just felt like my breathing slowed down, and I felt like I was almost being lifted out of my body, really. I mean, I really did. But it's an amazing experience. Really. And I love the prayer, the prayer you said in the beginning. It's really beautiful. And it sort of puts you in, it starts your journey. It's like a journey, Really, really beautiful. Thank you so much. Really loved it. I've never had an experience like that. Really, it's a bit emotional too. Yeah. I feel like it's going to stay with me. I feel like that. Like I didn't want to get up, and then when you were so wonderful, I said, okay, you can stay there, and then I heard birds, and I thought, wow, their birds have probably been chirping the whole time, but then it really sounded like, I could just stay here forever. So it was a great experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really beautiful.
One is none though for us. So as I said, it was a fake. Wasn't really a fake, because I was drawn to, I was listening to what your body was saying, and not what I was saying, what that was saying, but I was thinking what my brain was saying.
Yes.
But I gave you a real release, and it'd be nice if you could come back in 3 days again.
Really?
And because not one release comes by itself.
Wow.
There's 3 sessions that are majorly important.
So you recommend, this is what you would recommend?
I don't even work on people.
You don't recommend?
If I know that they're not going to come back for a second or third, I don't work on them.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah. Because it's not a waste of time. It's just,
this is how
I
you...
will start a process
It's a
that will not
process.
be finished. And
Yes.
I heard of people, they said they had one session, and from then on they had backaches or something in their place, and it never went away, and they still have it after years. So things open up.
Why would that be? Because you're opening up something.
Things
like
are
an
opening
emotional
up.
memory.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yes, totally.
Yes.
And then sometimes they can just stay open.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
Yeah. But then, for example, if you think of a house, when the door stays open, when you open the door and you don't close it, it just stays open. There's probably no wind. There's no friends coming around. There's no roommate. It just stays like that. Mm-hmm. For me, it shows a certain part of how somebody is.
Oh, right. It's very revealing here. I just want to make sure I'm getting you.
If you open that door,
yes,
and you have a house that many people are living in.
Yes.
That door will open and close, open and close. If you open that or close it, doesn't matter. Yeah, but if you have time in 3 days to come.
Well, thank you. That is so wonderful. I don't even know what to say. That's amazingly wonderful of you. Well, and it's so nice to look over at the Beatles afterward.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the Beatles. I love the Beatles.
Oh, the Beatles.
They're the Beatles here.
I think
this is so great.
I think this my roommate for sure.
Yeah, and they're just like, looking at the Beatles. How do you feel?
Yeah.
Feel good.
It's New York City. Welcome to Body Stress Release, New York City.
Thank you, Alex. Alex, you're awesome, and this was such a great experience. I feel like, really, I feel like it's going to stay with me, and I can't believe I get to come back in 3 days. Thank you. Thank you so much, and for the beautiful tea. And, I mean, the whole experience is fantastic.
Yeah, there's only one more thing. My teachers have told me, do not do this, but this is just the way I roll.
Yes.
I work on donation. My teachers say you have to ask and this amount of money. Because
donation.
If you don't do that, then this and this happens. But if over the communication after a long time with people, and I ask at the beginning, especially for the beginning, I just ask for donation.
You ask for donation. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's very.
It's kind of fair.
Well, it's it's incredible, really. But
it gives me a certain amount of allowance to it's like if you buy something for $65, you're gonna get it for $65.
Yes.
But if that is open, we don't, not that we don't talk about it, but if you know that it's on donation, then we can together change the world because we don't know what's gonna happen.
Yes.
We're leaving it open.
You know, I have found that everybody, just about everybody I've met who works in, well, I would call holistic spiritual alternative, nobody charges a specific amount. I think it's beautiful. Everybody says donation. If you know, and I think that's amazingly, that's like it's part of the experience.
Right.
It's like,
right.
And I think that's
great. I got
great.
that from my yoga teacher. She's a Kundalini teacher. And she just says, here's $10 donation. And
Yeah.
But you put $10 on it. I think she shouldn't put anything. I think she should just write donation. Because it would allow maybe $100 one day to be.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great way to do it.
Yeah, it's very nice. I need that as well. I need to work on myself a lot because I'm not stagnant. I want to evolve and change and move on. So I do a lot of Kundalini and yoga, but it helps me to experience my body even further and my mind and my thoughts. Where do my thoughts go during the day? Am I wasting them? Is it a waste of energy? Is it not? Is the waste of energy good for some reason?
That's interesting.
So it's a great experience for me to do Kundalini and yoga in New York City while I model and do body stress release and cycle my bicycle with my dog on it around and just enjoy this amazing, energetic, stressed city.
Yeah.
Tension, pressured, strong city.
And then when you leave for a period of time,
I'll be gone.
Yes.
I'll be gone because I want to go back to Africa at some point.
You do.
And I have a great project, a couple actually, that I want to start. Yeah.
So you want to ultimately be there, or for
forever? I don't know, but I'm 28 and I still have a couple of years before I want to start a family.
Yes.
So I want to go help some more families.
That's wonderful.
And the connections that I'm making down there are amazing. Even though when I do have family, I want to go down there to visit those people I've been.
You'd make a great. You would have made a great hippie in the '60s.
I would have,
you're a hippie now.
I would have, yeah.
Yeah, it's good to know.
I left that
Continues.
from my parents.
Your parents are hippies. So.
My mom was a hippie.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
A late one. She was only born in the 60s. So.
She was born in the '60s. Wow.
Yes, Carrie, I'm very excited.
Yes.
I'm very excited to work with you guys and maybe get a blasting show out there for you.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I'm very, very excited for a future for all of us.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you very much for this great experience. Okay. This is Alex. And he does, and the name of your is
Body Stress Release.
Body Stress Release. It's beautiful.
Our shortcut, we call it BSR. So
BSR.
when my clients come and they say, call me, can I come for a BSR session?
You call it BSR,
Yeah.
okay.
Or it's a BSR practice.
Yes.
I'm a BSR practitioner.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.